Great. Good afternoon, everyone. How is everyone doing?
Fantastic.
Fantastic. Great. I know final session. Everyone probably is too tired, wants to go home, and I promise it's going to be worth it. So everyone's here to learn how to make viral travel reels, right? What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of viral? Is it a dance reel? Or is it a meme? Or are they viral travel videos? The answer is it's all, right? It's all. It's not just viral dance reels anymore. It's not just 30 seconds of doing a trend. These days, anything and everything can get viral. And that's why we need a formula. And that's what I'm going to teach you today. So hi, my name is Neha Nambiar, aka Nene. The internet gave me that name. I kind of fell in love with it after. You were already told about my journey. I started as a very broke college traveler. I used to go to hostels and stay on budget. And from there, I sort of learned how to make this my business, right? I started my own show on Curly Tales where I sort of empowered women on how to travel solo. From there, I went on to start my own career in social media, became a digital creator, now a digital entrepreneur, and now here to teach you how to get viral. So, this is just some of the stuff I've done in the past. I've had the privilege of working with Royal Enfield, Kerala Tourism, with a few property brands. I know a lot of you here are from hotels and hostels and other properties. I've done a lot of work with properties across the country. These are just a few examples. This is one hostel that I work with in Himachal Pradesh, where we made one reel. They had very stagnant sales, and after this reel, they were booked out for a whole month. That is the power of an Instagram reel. Alright, now you are probably wondering why Instagram reels. Imagine this. You're an individual who spent lakhs of money to go abroad, study an MBA in marketing, only to come back to India and learn that if you have to market your business, you have to do 5% of Instagram content dictates where people go next. So I don't want to come to Saptha because I read 50% off on Saptha bookings or 30% if you get your fiancé or your family. I want to be shown why I should come to Saptha Hotel. I want to be shown why I want to come to Wayanad. I want to see visuals of people driving through the tea estates or someone sitting in the bathtub in Saptha Hotel. That will drive me to come to Wayanad and actually spend my money. So yeah, at the end of the session, let's sell your hotel rooms with reels. Alright, a quick round of questions. How many of you here have uploaded a reel? Just by show of hands. Okay, cool. How many of you have uploaded reels and kept checking your phone to see if it's gone viral every 5 minutes? Guilty, I have done it for sure, right? I know. How many of you have not uploaded reels at all and have no idea about the social media world? I was there. Everyone starts somewhere, right? So, what was viral a few years back is very different from what is viral right now. How many of you know this creator? You do, right? A few hands, yeah. So we consider him as one of the first few creators, right? He started in 2020 when Reels were just released. He made very raw, authentic content. I don't know if I can play it for you right now, but those who know. His Reels were very simple, very reactive. And at that time, the only way we could tell a Reel is viral is through views, or is through likes, or through comments. Right now, this is what Instagram prioritizes, right? Shares and saves. Shares is when you like the content so much that you want to share it with your friends. Saves is when the information on your reel is so good that you want to keep coming back. So for instance, if my content about Saptha Hotel is, again, this hotel is Saptha Hotel located in Wayanad, nobody is going to share this, nobody is going to save this because what value am I getting with this? But if you make content about how I can share this with my friends, how I can come to Wayanad and how I can spend my evening or my weekend here with my girlfriends or my family on the bathtub overlooking the tea estate, then I would want to share this with my friends. Then I would want to save this for my next Kerala trip. This is what Instagram pushes. Alright, now the second thing that used to be viral back then, but is not viral right now, are visuals. And especially for us in the travel industry, right? Everyone wants to invest in a drone. Everyone wants to get very heavy equipped cameras, very high quality production. And it used to work. I'm not saying it doesn't work. It used to work back then. But now, this content works. This is where it's very raw. This is where it's very personal. This is where it gives me the feeling that I am there with that person, And real life is not what camera looks like. Real life is very raw, very organic. It's not picture perfect. How many of you know this reel? Okay, a lot of you know. For those of you who don't know about this reel, this was one of the most viral Instagram reels ever in the history of reels. And this was in Kerala. This was a reel made by this creator called Rizwan Freestyle. Let me see if I can play this for you. This very simple reel where he's kicking the ball and it goes up. Probably shot with a phone. This reel went super viral. It put Malappuram, not that Kerala wanted to be on the map, but Malappuram on the world map. And of course, he's gone on to become a very popular creator now. But this is what I mean. You don't need very fancy equipment to make a viral reel. Very raw moments like this can also promote your property. Alright, this is audience behavior. Audience behavior is basically how you as a consumer, or me as a consumer, reacts to Instagram content. Actually, I'm going to ask you something. I don't know what and how many of you know Instagram, how well you know Instagram. What is the key goal of Instagram for you as consumers? Anybody?
To get noticed.
To get noticed, to get ads? No. It is so that you as consumers stay on Instagram 24/7. The main goal of Instagram is so you as consumers stay on the app forever and ever. And somehow, fortunately or unfortunately, that is happening to a lot of us because a lot of us are on Instagram endlessly without even thinking about it. But the good news is you can use this for your business. You can use it to leverage your business and actually get room sales, right? What used to happen before was people just liking and reposting content. But now, reels have become part of your culture. Reels have become part of your language. So imagine if there was a reel or a picture post about Saptha made back then. The way we would consume it is just like or repost on our story. Now, there are groups made on Instagram, groups with your family, like how we have WhatsApp groups to have like conversations. I have like 10, 15 groups on Instagram where I keep sharing reels or memes. I have one group with my friends, one group with only my girlfriends, one group with my high school friends, one group with my college friends. And content here is different, right? So imagine if I had to make a reel about Saptha again and share it with my girlfriends and say that, oh, this place looks really pretty, let's go here. It's part of culture. It's part of your plans. It's part of real life now. So Reels is not just digital anymore. It's culture, it's language. It is part of your real life. Distribution now, this means how your Reels get explored or identified on Instagram. So basically, a lot of people I know, I don't know if you know about this, hashtags were like a huge thing. Hashtag hotel, hashtag Wayanad, hashtag Kerala. It's all gone now. Nobody explores or discovers your reel from this anymore. Back in the day, this was the thing. But now, sharing reels or recreating reels or having these reels as conversations on your DM groups is how you get explored as a business. So if you want to get explored as a business, your goal shouldn't be, I want to make this picture perfect reel. It should be, I want to be in that DM group where girls are having conversations about coming to my property and staying for the weekend and having a stress-free weekend in Wayanad. That should be your goal. And that's why Instagram also prioritizes. Alright, if you didn't understand by now that Instagram is not the same anymore, this this would sort of be the nail in the coffin. Instagram back then, I don't know if you remember Facebook. Facebook had a lot of like photo memories and galleries of your marriages and cousins' weddings. That's all it used to be. And Facebook didn't evolve. It's still the same, which is why Facebook is redundant and everybody's moved on to Instagram. Instagram used to be like Facebook before. It was just photos of people. How many of you remember Instagram like that, by the way? For just uploading, right? Just uploading pictures. Now, it's videos. Now, it's your own personal digital TV. Think about it. Like, I don't know, I haven't read a newspaper in a very long time. I consume news on Instagram, I consume TV series on Instagram, I consume memes on Instagram. Instagram is so much more than just creating reels. It's my newspaper, it's how I relate to people, it's how I bond with people. So yeah, it's a very powerful asset in that way. Now, a quick question for a few of you. This is exactly why you're here. What are the ingredients of what makes a reel viral? I've already showed you the metrics. I've already told you about likes, shares, comments. Hashtags are not in anymore, ma'am. They're redundant. But let's imagine you have to make a dish, and the final dish is a viral reel. What are the metrics that goes in? Sorry? Current affairs, right. So all of that would be content. These are metrics. Metrics are basically how people react to your reels. So if people share your reels, that is the most important metric, by the way. If people are sharing your reels, that's how Instagram boosts your reels. That's how your reels get to everybody else organically. Saves is another one, watch time is another one. We get into all of these. These are small ingredients that make your reel viral. So I already talked about shares, I already talked about saves. Now, let's talk about saves. Saves is basically when someone saves your video to come back to it. So I'm sure you all have bookmarks, right? When you read books, you have bookmarks to come back to like the important section, or if you like something, you want to keep coming back and reading it. That's essentially what a save is. So when someone saves your reel, it means that they really like the information, they want to come back to it. So for instance, if I had to make a reel for Saptha, which would make people save it, it would be save this for your next Kerala trip. And it would be an event or a certain brunch that was really fancy, or the bathtub that is overlooking the rice terrace. That is something that people would want to save and come back to later on if they plan a Kerala trip. This is the third important ingredient called watch time. Any idea what watch time is? I know it's pretty self-explanatory. What? Yeah. Watch time is basically how long people stay on your reel to consume it. So if a reel is watched for 3 seconds, it's considered as a view, right? Anything longer than that is considered as watch time. So gone are the days that only views were counted. That was the tip of the iceberg. Now it's much more than that. So imagine if you have a restaurant, right? You don't just want your consumers to come in and smell the food and leave. That's what views were. They came to your restaurant, they smelled the food, they liked it, they left. That's the tip of the iceberg. Right now, you want your consumers to come smell the food, eat, leave a review, get their friends, and leave with a very good experience. That's what social media is in its essence. That's what watch time is in its essence. You want your consumers to come, watch, comment, share, but also stay for the entire duration. And that's what watch time does. It also, if you have a very good watch time, let's say your audience stays till the end of your reel, a 30-second reel, that pushes the Instagram algorithm pushes that reel, right? Then of course we have comments and likes. Likes, by the way, is the least effective tool or metric when it comes to Instagram. Everyone thinks that if a reel gets like 1,000, 10,000 likes, it's going to push my reel or it's a good performance reel. But that's not the case anymore. Nobody cares about likes. So if the reel that you work very hard to make got like 20 likes, don't be disheartened. If it got like 100 reshares or 100 shares or 100 saves, that's when you know that your Instagram reel did well. Okay, now all of this was just fluff, right? for you as a brand, you don't care about all this. You don't care about making content. You care about making sales. You care about whether if I'm making this reel, my reel should be able to sell. I should be booked out in the next coming months if I'm putting this reel out, or if I'm partnering with this influencer. And how is that done? That is done through inquiries and DMs. And Instagram is a huge asset for that. How do you do that? How do you apply all of this to your content? You reverse engineer, right? So I'm not going to tell you what content to make because there are 100 courses to do that. I'm going to tell you what goal you should be after and how to reverse engineer it. So for instance, we spoke about all these results that we need, right? We spoke about watch time, we spoke about shares, comments. All of these push your reel. Instagram likes it when a lot of people share or save or comment on your reel. But how do you get people to do that? A lot of people spend many years figuring this out. Lucky for you, I have a hack. So, in case you want people to stay in your reel for longer than 3 seconds, you need stronger hooks. What is a hook? A hook is something that makes me want to watch the reel. So, for instance, if I were to make a reel about your property in Wayanad, I wouldn't make this property is in Wayanad or this is a 100-acre property in Wayanad. What is this telling me? Nothing that I want to know. You have to add feelings. You have to add an experience to this, right? So something like point of view you are or POV you are in an old mansion in amidst the rice terraces in Wayanad. Anything that makes your audience to stay back, anything that catches your audience's attention is watch time. And how you get to watch time. Shares and reposts. How do you get shares and reposts? How do you make content that people share and make sort of part of their culture or conversations? It is through relatable moments, right? So for instance, if you see a reel about just a bathroom, a very fancy bathroom in a 5-star hotel, you wouldn't want to share that. But a caption that says, stealing toiletries like a typical Indian desi, that is something I would want to share with my friends because I relate to it. I don't relate to a simple bathroom or an aesthetic shot of a bathroom in a 5-star hotel. That's not making me feel anything. But when there's a certain caption that makes me feel something, that makes me want to send it to my friends, that is when Instagram sort of pushes your account. That is when I want to share it with my friends. Next is comments and engagement. So this is basically your customer reviews, right? Instagram enables that. So for instance, any comment about, dragging your friends here, or any comment about how good their stay or experience was, Instagram pushes that. And how do you do that? You question prompt. So, for instance, if you posted a reel, you want people to talk about it. If people are not talking about it, even if it's a negative comment, your reel isn't doing well. So encourage negative comments if possible. Like don't ignore it or don't delete it. It just means people are talking about it. Then there are saves. Saves is basically when your content is so good that people want to save it and come back to it. So any informational content, right? Pack this for your next Wayanad trip. Don't come to Wayanad during monsoons because of XYZ. I will save it and I'll come back to it because this is information I want to remember, right? And lastly, inquiries and bookings. How do you enable inquiries and bookings? Through a very clear CTA, a very clear call to action, which is book now or DM us, anything that you want to happen, come to the website. And Instagram again is a huge asset for this. And of course, if you want credibility, you have influencers for that. Now, I spoke about Instagram in depth, but we all know that's not the only social media. We have YouTube, we have Facebook, we have Google Maps for you as restaurateurs, hoteliers, TripAdvisor, etc. So how do you know what social media to use and what content to put on these? Because honestly, you can't put what works on Instagram on a YouTube and expect it to work, right? And vice versa. Long form content wouldn't work on Instagram. This is what you do. So for Instagram, the best place, Instagram honestly is the best place to get discovered or explored or reach new audiences, right? A lot of places, in fact, the hotel that I promoted in Himachal Pradesh was discovered solely through Instagram Reels. So Instagram, if you want your business to be sort of discovered by new people, that's the right place to go to. YouTube is again a little more slow. It's like you tell people what the feel of your property is. They come here, they see really good shots, they see a person experiencing food, they have a lot of time on their hands, so they want to watch the entire vlog. That's when you come to YouTube. It adds more credibility, it adds more visuals, more experience to your content. Google Maps is another one where you add a little more. So, of course, people can see visuals, but Google Maps is like a quicker analysis on whether this place is good or bad. A lot of us do that. A lot of us do that on Zomato. We go and check ratings. So, Google Maps is essential. So, go and ensure whenever you have a business launched to see whether your ratings are good or bad and respond to comments that are negative in a very sort of polite manner, because that also, your comments on Google Maps also reflect your tonality as a business. TripAdvisor, I don't have to say much, you already know about it. And of course your website. So think about this as an entire customer journey. Instagram is when they come in, right? Your consumers are new to your business, they don't know your hotel, they come in through that. Then they go to your profile, they see YouTube, where you have a YouTube page. Okay, let me go and check what the hotel looks like. So you go to YouTube, you see the vlogs, you understand what the feel of the place is like. Google Maps and TripAdvisor add a little more conviction. So people are like, okay, I understand the feel of Saptha Hotel, I know what it looks like, I know there's a bathtub there. But I want to know whether it's good or bad. That's where you go to Google Maps and TripAdvisor, where people have posted real-time reviews, right? And website is where you lock the deal. Website is where you actually make the conversions happen. I've spoken about a lot of other social media, but I'm going to keep coming back to IG because it is essentially the need of the hour. Why? Because honestly, it is the easiest social media to get into and crack. You just need your phone and Wi-Fi. You don't need a fancy equipment, you don't need a drone, you don't need to hire anybody. You just need to take like simple shots, and God alone knows that reel would go viral and give you the promotion that you needed. It's also easy to make. You don't need fancy edits. Instagram has enabled the easiest editing hacks, right? Also, Instagram has direct messages, which I already stressed on, which so people don't want to fill in contact forms anymore. Like when you go to a website, nobody has the patience to sit and fill my name, my number, my address. Nobody wants to do that. If I'm interested in a hotel, I want to see whether it's available on that weekend, if there's any offer going on, and how soon I can quick it. And that can be achieved through Instagram. That gives you a direct gives you a direct connect with your audience that maybe a YouTube or a Twitter or a Google Maps won't. So that's why Instagram is a need of the hour. Right, so I spoke about all of this. Now, in case you don't want to talk about or you don't want to get into the whole tedious project and the whole process of making a reel because it takes so long to go viral, there are a few hacks, right? You can do a lot of contests and giveaways, you can do trend jacking, you can do collabs with people, you can do influencer collabs, which is super important right now. By show of hands, how many of you have done any work with influencers in the past? Okay, not a lot. Cool. Alright, so let's talk about why and how influencers can actually promote you. I mean, everybody's doing it, your competitors are probably doing it, and we don't want to put up content aimlessly, right? That's not the point of this session. We're not going to put out content because our competitors putting out or because we want to ensure consistency. We want to put out content with intent. We want to put out content that gives us results. And influencers are the quickest way and the easiest way to hack it. Imagine back in the days when we wanted to promote a shampoo. We would see a Shah Rukh Khan or a very popular Mohanlal come and promote it. But now we have 100 small Shah Rukh Khans that will do the job for you for much lesser and give you the same credibility. That's what influencers are, right? Now, UGC over ads for trust. So UGC is basically user-generated content, right? In layman's terms, if I were to use a product rather than write an ad for it. So if I saw an ad for Saptha that says 50% off, I wouldn't be affected by it. But if I saw an ad of like an influencer that I was following who came to Saptha, who showed her experience, or 24 hours in Saptha, or 5 things that you can do in Wayanad this weekend, That is something I would watch, and that is something that is more likely to convert me than just a 20% off ad. So that is a UGC content, and that's how it also builds trust. Like, you would much rather trust a friend telling you something than a salesman telling you something. That's what influencers do, right? Of course, and then there is better SEO, there is better reach. So when you approach an influencer, you're not just going to a person who's starting from scratch, right? They have your audience who are just ready to buy. You just have to get access to them. So imagine if you were a hotel again and you were planning something for a Women's Day. You want a certain number of women coming to your hotel on Women's Day and enjoying that weekend or weekend getaway and going back. You wouldn't want to go approach a motor influencer for that. You would want to go and approach a travel influencer who has a certain audience, a demographic. Let's say me or like another person who has a certain audience of 35 to 40 or 25 to 35 of women who follow her, who look for like stuff to do with their women friends. And if I post content about how Saptha talks about, or Saptha has a special Women's Day themed holiday coming up or a weekend staycation coming up, those women are more likely to convert than maybe a Shah Rukh Khan or a motor influencer. So that is the power of an influencer in these days. These are just a few case studies of businesses and content channels that I think are killing it on social media. Kerala Tourism is one. I had the pleasure of working with Kerala Tourism. I think by far, how many of you have seen or follow Kerala Tourism on Instagram? Quite a lot of us, I do. This is probably the only tourism board I follow because their content game is so good. I actually look forward to watching their content. And it's like I'm being promoted to come to Kerala without even knowing about it. That's how good their content is, and that's how good we want our content to be. So there are three pointers that I feel like Kerala Tourism really nails. One is, of course, working with influencers, and it's not just basic influencers. If you go to Kerala Tourism, they do a lot of work with international influencers, with hyper-local influencers, with influencers from North India or other parts of the country. They don't just want people in Kerala knowing about Kerala, they want people from the rest of the country or people abroad knowing about Kerala. And they do that the best with influencers. The second is trend jacking. So we all know about trends on Instagram, right? I don't know how many of you know about this trend. This is a very popular trend, Ghibli Studio. It's going on right now. So Kerala Tourism is very quick to jumping on trends. And if you jump on trends, you get to accelerate your business like this, right? Because that music is trending, that format is trending, everyone wants to watch it. The only downfall is the trend will last for like maybe a week max, and then the next trend comes in. But the key is to jump on it as soon as you see it, and that's what Kerala Tourism has nailed. Oh, and also cultural tourism. How many of you know Hanuman Kind? Huge fan, Hanuman Kind, right? And Kerala Tourism has completely taken it up under their armor. Runner-up was his latest music video / album, and Kerala Tourism sort of picks up these iconic cultural movements and puts it up on their Instagram. So this also did really well. You can see a lot of people shared it, so it was relatable. And lastly, another case study is Zostel. Zostel is killing it with budget travel right now. And a lot of places that I go to, at least, they take up at least 90% of occupancy. A lot of people go to Zostel, go to destinations that has a Zostel. That's how powerful their marketing and impact is as a business, right? So again, they nail trend tracking. They hop onto trends really easily and really fast. Authentic visuals. Now, we as in the travel industry, again, we rely on very high quality visuals, but what Zostel nails is getting really authentic visuals, right? Like this one was in Holi. You can see it's just people normally wearing a shirt, coming and posing, very raw, very candid. It shows like energy, it shows that they had actually enjoyed the festival. So that's the kind of momentum that they're looking at Zostel, and that's what works for them. And lastly, community engagement. If you want to drive your Instagram reels to a large number of people, you have to be active on their comment section. Zostel does a great job in response to all the comments on the Instagram reels, and it drives conversations. It shows that you as a business are very receptive to your audience, want to listen to your audience. And yeah, I think Hostel does a great job at this. That's about it. Let's use Reels to actually sell your rooms this time. I hope this helped. Thank you.
Any questions? We'll take 4 to 5 questions. Everyone sleeping or?
No. I think they're all real experts by now.
It seems they have understood everything in full and no questions left. I think they have understood it well. So
yes, that's the only exception.
Let's take it that way.
All are understood.
Alright. We have no questions or we will have questions?
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. So would you like to make us an educational content for that? To save and share?
Would I like to make?
Yeah. Now, would you like to suggest us to
Excellent
make
job.
us some educational content, right? So that the people can save and share. Right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, you were asking me whether
Yes,
we
I
should
was
make
asking you this,
educational.
yes.
The best way to get the audience to save your content is to make informational content. So it's the same as reading a book, right? Saving is essentially using a bookmark. You like the information so much and it brought you so much value that you want to keep coming back to it. The best way to do that is information, yes. The best way to do that is education, yes. But it's not only that. If I like a place so much, I would want to come back there. I want to know which location it is, then I will save that reel. So there are multiple ways to do it. Information or education content is the best way to make that happen.
And we can add one more word, is entertainment.
People don't usually save entertainment reels. Like, think about it. Would you want to go back to something that made you laugh? Because the moment is over, right? You look at a funny reel, you laugh, and it's done. You don't want to go back to that again and again. But if that information is valuable to you, if for instance, if you're going to Kerala or Wayanad, if you're coming back to Wayanad and there is a reel that says, this is your winter essentials or summer essentials packing list for Wayanad, you will save it for whenever you want to come back to Wayanad. But if someone was doing a dance reel in Wayanad, you wouldn't want to save that, right? Like it doesn't add any value to you. So it's mostly informational content, or if there's a certain location in Wayanad that someone showed on reels, you would want to save that to come back to that location. So that is when people usually save. People share really in entertaining content. So if you want your audience to share something, entertainment content.
So it can create the watch time.
It can?
Create the watch time, right? If people are keep sharing entertainment, it can create our watch time, right?
Watch time.
Sure. See, it's not just entertainment content that gets watch time again. A lot of these metrics are different.
So one of the content can be create the entertainment content can create the watch time, right?
Sure. If you have a very strong hook, if you want people to stay back to the end of your reel, and if that is entertainment content, then it can increase your watch time. But it's not just entertainment reels that can do that. I can do that with travel reels too. I can do that with food reels too. You know? You don't need entertainment only for watch time to happen. I can do that with making a donut right now or a dosa right now. People will still watch it to the end.
Thank you so much, and your content was very, very good. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I represent a group of hotels in Kerala called Ravi's Hotels and Resorts. I have 2 questions for you.
Sorry.
Yes, yeah. So I have 2 questions. One is how can someone like me, I had sales and marketing, analyze that a reel that has been posted by my agency, the engagement is organic and it's not a collaboration or it's not being boosted. So how do I know that it's, the shares and all of that are happening? Because we work a lot with influencers, okay? And sometimes certain reels, I see they've gone viral, okay, maybe there are some 10,000 likes and all of that. So how can I assess that those reels that have gone viral, it's organic and it's not being boosted by that particular influencer? That's one. And 2 is, when are the available dates that we can work with you? Thank you.
Alright. right, it's very difficult for someone who's not in the social media background to tell whether a reel is being promoted or not, right? But the quickest way to do that is to see analytics, right? You can easily look at a reel and see like likes and views and, you know, back in the days when TV was the thing, we couldn't tell, like there was only TRP. TRP was the only analytic to tell whether content worked. Right now, Instagram has analytics, it has likes, it has shares. So for instance, if you see a piece of content that, you know, you're talking about reels, right? Not reels. You can go and look at the reels, the views, right? The metrics. If they seem a little unaligned, you can understand. So you can't promote shares and you can't promote saves. Very rare to do that. Most people who promote reels promote views maybe and promote likes, right? Which is the easiest to hack and which honestly Instagram doesn't even care about. Instagram cares about shares and saves. So honestly, if you had to go and gauge whether that is promoted or not, go and see the shares, go and see the saves, see if it is consistent. See if only that reel is the one that's performed well. Are the comments organic or do they look paid? Are there any comments at all? Sometimes there are reels that have like 2,000 likes and like 40 views. I mean, it's very clear that it's promoted, right? Sometimes there are reels with like 100k views and with like 60 likes and like 2 comments. Even then you know that, you know, it's promoted. So, to answer your question in brief, check whether there are shares and saves. Check whether there is any imbalance in the metrics, right? It shouldn't look off. And third, check if there's consistency. That's it, yeah. Yes.
Hello.
Actually, my question is about the giveaway. I read
Yes.
somewhere that the format which we are giving the giveaway today, the Instagram is not promoting that much content. Is anything like that?
Instagram is not promoting content giveaways.
Yes.
As a
The content which have the giveaway subjects, that means we are giving the community.
right.
These contents, Instagram is promoting like that. Is anything like that?
No, Instagram, see, so Instagram doesn't have certain content guidelines that this content won't work. Instagram has, and honestly, I wish Instagram did that. So they just come and tell us creators directly what works and what doesn't work, and we'll do it. But Instagram doesn't do that with content. What you can do essentially, if you personally have a giveaway, of course you can use your own page, you can make reels, you can make organic content about giveaways. Best way to do that is tie-ups. Collaborations are a great asset for Instagram. And I'm not just saying influencer tie-ups. Do tie-ups with local, you know, like a cafe or like any other artist that comes in. Have events with him, have people come in. Make that offline. And if you really want to hack that, you can also do tie-ups with influencers. Influencers have your audience ready in their hand. You just need access to it. They are very likely to convert. So if you want to do contests and giveaways, explore beyond just online, make it offline, and at the same time do tie-ups with influencers, artists, you know, regional cafes, etc. Yeah. Hope that
One
answers
question
your
here.
I'm so sorry, we had a question. Yeah.
Yeah, Neha, with your permission,
Yeah.
you are very energetic, beautiful, gorgeous, and all.
Thank
And
you.
guys, like you post something, definitely you get what you call likes, reposts, or DMs and so on. How about guys like me, and especially the boys, if I'm not wrong, do we get such comments or likes, anything as such? That's what I feel. So,
Okay. Alright, so sir, if Instagram only worked on beauty and aesthetics, then all the girls here would be content creators. It's not the only metric that works. A lot of people have now looked beyond beauty and aesthetics, right? So even with travel, for instance, back in the days, in the start of Instagram, everyone was looking for high quality shots. Nobody looks at that anymore. Everyone is saturated with Instagram. Nobody wants to see a pretty face only. They want to see what value you bring to them, right? So if I'm showing visuals of Saptha and if I'm just walking, just doing like something like that, nobody's going to watch that reel. They want to watch a reel that gives them functional value. And this is what, I have seen a podcast about this, honestly. Do you guys know Tanmay Bhatt? Tanmay Bhatt? Anyone? Yeah? AIB? Okay. Yeah, so he's a social media mogul. And he said the difference between international content creators and Indian content consumers is that Indian people want to see functionality. Indian people want to see practicality. They don't want to see aesthetics. So a travel reel that shows the mountains and the seas and the ocean works very well for the international audience. But Indian audiences want to see how is this going to come of my use? Why should I go to Saptha? And a pretty face is not the only answer. They want to see amenities. They want to see how I can come here and live a very stress-free weekend. How can I come here with my family? How can I get the best of food? How can I be in Wayanad and look at the best locations? So yeah, there are multiple ingredients than just looking good in a reel. I know, I get that, yeah.
Hi Neha.
Yes.
Actually, I'm here.
Front row, second row. Janish, your front row.
I just want to know this Insta, it's free. It's based on the content or the influencer, and it is both together. The place is important, or we can take it any places. Or example, I'm in Wayanad now. So if I take a reel, if I want to take a personal reel or an official reel to take a reel to show the people, what is like a major role to play? It's a content or the influencer?
Right. See, it's always content first, right? Content is what makes influencers. It's not influencers that make content, at least until they are established. So, say for instance, an Amitabh Bachchan can make a Gujarat, but a local influencer, unless they are at Amitabh level, influence, they won't be able to make a Gujarat happen. Same for Kerala. Influencers right now are not only celebrity equivalents, they are like your friends. That's the whole reason, that's the whole point of influencer marketing. It's your friend suggesting stuff. So if someone you know, like your cousin or your sister is telling you, hey, buy this product, or you should go to this place and stay, you'd consider that. That is what an influencer marketing, impact is like. So to answer your question, I think it's initially content that makes it, right? Content for everything, it's like the base. And on top of that, influencers. Influencers are like an addition, right? And unless your influencer is that popular, like a Shah Rukh Khan level or like a Amitabh Bachchan level, only then can they make that impact, right? Or else, by fluke, you never know Instagram. Sometimes one reel by like a 1,000 follower Instagram goes viral and then it works for your property. But that's a risk you have to be willing to take.
Thank you. And this related to the question Sarah asked before. So this, if I got a good content, I got a good content and a writer or editor, whatever. If Sarah said, if Sarah can make a reel, it won't be posted or it won't be viral, right? Because the personality also is required in that reel, right?
You mean you need a person on the reel for it to go viral?
Yeah, personality.
A personality? It's not.
If I have a good content, like it may, if example, if you do this, so if I give one content, in the content if you do, then it will go to viral. The same content if I do as I do, it won't go. Why?
That's not true again. That's a misconception. Do you know how many pieces of content that I've made that hasn't gone viral, that has my face on it that hasn't gone viral? I mean, if that was the rule that only people coming on frame, only those videos do well, then a lot of other faceless channels wouldn't do well on YouTube. And there are many faceless channels on YouTube and Instagram that are doing well, right? So it does play a role. To an extent, it does. It's good to have someone on screen telling you. But there are some people who just make educational content with, without having their face or with just voiceovers. That also does well. It's not, Instagram has no rules that this is the content you have to make. It just has, honestly, it's work of experimentation, what works for you, what doesn't work for you. I tried to do the faceless reels, it didn't work for me. But a lot of my friends have done faceless reels and it has worked for them.
It depends. Thank you.
We'll take one last question. Janish has been waiting for so long.
Neha, what is your take on remix option in Instagram, and does that give mileage to the remixer?
I'm sorry, I didn't get your question.
there is an option called remix, right?
Remix.
With there's an option called remix in Instagram.
Okay.
You know about it, right?
Repost?
Remix.
Remix, okay.
Yeah. So does that give mileage to the remixer?
Does that give mileage to your original post? To the remix?
To the remixer.
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. It's again, it's not a very important metric. It's not like a share. It's not like, see, it's just going to add to your. It's just another content piece, right? It's just how people are responding to content. Say, for instance, if someone is shooting this and putting it up on Instagram, and someone is remixing that video and putting it up on Instagram, it's not going to be pushed just because it's remix. At the end of the day, it should add value. It should be content. It is still content. It's not a key metric. So it's not going to make any difference.